today's video, we're going to chat through this uncut sheet that's got the fake serial numbers graded by BGS in a little bit more detail. So let's get straight into it. Now, you would have seen me talk about this in my weekly news video from the other day. If you haven't seen that, essentially what happened was you had this uncut sheet of essential credentials from 1997-98. It's a basketball set. And someone bought these uncut sheets off of a golden auction. It was the lot that sold for $10,000. And what they then did was, cut the sheets, sent them into BGS for grading. But before they did that, they stuck some fake serial numbers on there. So that's the recap. I misspoke in the last video. I left a pin in my comment where I essentially came out and sort of was a bit aggressive towards BGS with regard to the fact that they graded these. Uncut sheets are fine to be graded at the end of the day. Like, it's a bit iffy in my opinion, as long as the labels outline that it's come from an uncut sheet, if it can. The real big issue here is the fact that they missed the fact that the serial numbers on these cards were fake. Now, this was flagged by the real guy 27, or the real 27 guy. I forget what his Instagram name is. I'll put it down below like I did last time. He owned an uncut sheet, so he was watching the two that got listed on Golden. When they sold, he was like, okay, I've already owned this sheet. That's okay. Just wanted to see what the price was like. He's got trackers for these cards on eBay. So basically, he saw that these listed cards, or cards got listed, I should say, and then he realized, on closer inspection, actually, these are the cards that came from the uncut sheet. So a bit of really good detective work by him. The update I want to give you all today is the fact that these cards have now been removed by the consignment agency on eBay, so they're no longer for sale, and they're looking into it. I'm not too sure what's happening from there. I know Ken Golden has reached out to a few individuals to try and chase up where this has actually gone wrong. I would imagine he's going to reach out to BGS to try and talk to someone about how they actually missed this, and if they are in fact the ones that were, from that uncut sheet, because this is just really messy, and it goes to things I've spoken about many times about graders, and I'm not here to just hate for the sake of hating. Like, these mistakes are just unacceptable. The fact that they couldn't, identify the fact that a serial number was fake on these cards is utterly ridiculous in my opinion. It's like, I understand they're under pressure. I understand they've got a lot of work to pump through and things like that. It mustn't be fun to be a grader themselves, because I'm sure they've got really, extensive and very stressful KPIs placed upon them. But these are very elementary mistakes, right? If you look at these images on screen now, you can see that some of these serial numbers, are actually not even completely there. They're partial. And some of you might say, well, these cards are from 97, 98. If a real serial number today, it might look like that, yes and no. Typically, when a serial number is pressed on a card, there is some indentation. When you can see these are completely missing, it goes to some of those, I'm not sure if you guys remember, there's some of those laser etched or laser stamped, stickers people did for Pokemon first edition cards that some people sent in to get PSA to grade them, and they slip through. And a few people have shown that, they're just on the surface so you can scratch them off. That's what these serial numbers look like. So it's just really odd that they were missed. And it just goes again to these graders making elementary and fundamental errors. These are not the mistakes you expect to come from a grader. Like, when you're pumping through volume, you expect to make mistakes around, mislabeling, which is still not the best, but it does happen. Or, putting the wrong grade on a card, okay? But in their system was correct, but for whatever reason, the card got printed with the wrong grade. That stuff is still unacceptable, but it's a lot different to the fact that you've missed a card that's got a fake serial number on there. So that's one of the fundamental things you should be looking for. Like, when you're looking for card authenticity, you're looking for key things. Checking out a serial number is also a major error. Some of you might say, okay, well, Daniel, how could BGS have done better? Well, one element for this is that some of these cards that have these fake serial numbers actually have a serial number of a card that's previously been graded. So one of the things I've suggested in the past is, why doesn't BGS and PSA share some sort of pop report, in the sense where, okay, they can, check whether a card's been previously graded with another grader. And if they see on hand, they do a quick search before they grade the card. Oh, actually, this card's been graded before. Why is there a serial number with that card graded, and then our one over here, it's not graded? What's going on? Some of you might say, well, Daniel, maybe someone cracked it out of the slab and sent it in for a resubmission. Well, there's other tells you can do, right? You can check if the card actually matches the card in question, because, this has come from an uncut sheet. You're going to see differences. Given the information that the real guy 27 shares in his Instagram video, these cards, the way they're printed, you get some deviations. That's how he was able to determine that the cards in those BGS slabs actually came from those uncut sheets. So having a check like that from the graders, you would think, would have solved this issue. This stuff almost leaves me speechless, the fact that they make these errors. This is so elementary. It's so laughable. So yeah, please share your thoughts on this down in the comments below. I know I gave a bit of a recap from the video the other day. I just wanted to share with you that these cards have now been removed off eBay by the consignor, and there's some discussions happening in the back end. So I very much hope that the individual who bought this from Golden is not the one that cut the sheets and sent them in and put the fake stamps on, because you could be in a bit of trouble. And if you are that individual, I hope you get caught, because this stuff is, it's fraud at the end of the day. You're trying to defraud someone. It's unacceptable. So let's see what happens, because obviously Golden's going to chat with Beckett. They're going to see, okay, this is the person that bought the sheets, who submitted the sheets to you, Beckett. They're going to see if it's the same person. Okay, there's going to be lots of very, very serious questions asked of this individual. So it's sort of like a watch this space kind of thing. Keep an eye out for that, because you could see some pretty major ramifications. Now, the one thing I want to touch on as well is, like I said at the very start of this video, I'm sort of indifferent with grading uncut sheets. Like, the big issue comes when it is stuff like this that was serial numbered. Obviously, the uncut sheets are not serial numbered. It also messes up like population of cards. I'm all for them grading them as long as they're marked on the label that it's come from an uncut sheet. I can't recall if in this specific instance these ones did come from an uncut sheet. Oh, sorry, were flagged on the slab that they came from an uncut sheet. If they didn't, I would like to see something like that added in the future. Again, you're not always going to get that 100% right, but I just think that sort of stuff gives comfort, to the market. One of the things that I've thought about lately as well is, if these auction houses start selling uncut sheets or wax, Sports Card Radio mentioned this, I think, in their live stream, where they touched on, why don't these people, BBC as an example, these auction houses, put like a stamp or a sticker or something along those lines that you can't see to the naked eye, obviously not a sticker, so a stamp, that you can only see on the black light. Put them on those, 86 flea packs, so that way if somebody else has tried to rewrap something, right? That'll be a good catch. I would like to see these auction houses doing this for uncut sheets as well. Putting a stamp you can't see to the naked eye that won't damage the card, put it somewhere on the card. So if you're an individual, you'll pick something up, you grab a black light like I've got here, and you shine it on the card, and bang, you know what it is. You might be asking why I have this. This is from one of the COVID tests that they give you. I like to, play around with it on my watches to make the lumen light up. Yes, I am a loser, so don't judge me too harshly. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this point down in the comments below, because like I said, it's a bit crazy how this was missed by Beckett, and it's just, unacceptable. These are the mistakes that I've been complaining about from these graders. They're so elementary. They're so basic. These are not the mistakes that should be slipping through in today's day and age. When you've got, and I'm going back to points previously, but if you've got like a robust process, okay, and you've got, sufficient trainings for new staff and all those kinds of things, this is not where you expect them to make errors, okay? You'd expect a new grader to make errors by maybe not grading consistently, as an example. Missing something as fraudulent as a fake stamp that is very clearly noticeable as a fake stamp is not where you expect them to fall down. That's where you expect Beckett to have proper things in place to train someone not to miss that stuff, because that is so fundamental. It's so basic. It's just utterly ridiculous. Now, I know I've spoken in circles many, many times. One of the things I touched on in the video the other day that I'd like to repeat now is that, the fact that you can have people like the Real 27 guy, Real Guy 27, I'm dyslexic, so I keep getting the words mixed up, apologies. And if he can look at a photo on the internet and see that it's fake, okay? Or see that the serial number's coming off, why is it coming off? Why can't these graders see this stuff in person? It goes to that same issue with the Top Sun Charizard cards that got graded by SGC. Why can someone like Rattle Pokemon look at a photo of this and immediately tell it's fake, but the grader, who's the expert, who's getting paid to be an expert within the industry, can't do that? Those are the things we need fixed. Those are the things these graders need to get better at, because, they're providing a service to the hobby. They've got provisions and, insurance premiums in place and policies in place to make sure that if they make a mistake, they're covered. These businesses don't want to keep paying out on things they make mistakes on. So they need to get better from that regard as well. It's a personal thing for them to try and fix as well. You can't just say they don't care. Like, they do care, because their bottom line is impacted with every mistake they make. So it's unacceptable. Let's hope they do better. Please keep an eye out for my mail day. It'll get released later today, a couple of hours after this video. I won't push it out to my subscribers, so you won't get a notification, but please do check that out. You might see some things over my shoulder just there that look pretty cool. I'm not there before, but I got those in the mail day, so keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for later this week. I've got a break of my NRL Elite 2022 cards. I bought 2 boxes of that. If you're a fan of US sports and you want to see what Aussie sports look like, Aussie cards look like, check out the 2 videos, because I hit absolute fire in these 2 boxes. I don't think I could have hit better cards. I probably got the case hits from 2 separate cases in these 2 boxes. So unbelievable. Very, very happy. Thanks for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.